What's up, Inky peeps? It's Adele from Inky Quill, and today I'm doing a 12 by 12 scrapbook page, and it's a bit of a special one because today in Australia we are celebrating Anzac Day, which is an important day where we remember anyone who has passed through military operations. And as I'm doing it, I'll give you a bit of a info about Anzac Day, but I'm scrapbooking these old photos of my grandpa and I. So this is my dad's dad, who passed away when I was in mid-high school, I think. And on Anzac Day there's special, there's usually a dawn service, and then there's parades where, marches I should say, where either the veterans or members of their families march to honour the soldiers that have fallen. So when I was 9 years old, I got to march, there I am there with my grandpa. I got to march with my grandpa in Sydney in the big Anzac Day march. I was on TV because they have a camera that broadcast, that's the word I'm looking for. I wasn't going advertise, no, broadcast the march. And it was just a really special day to spend with my gramps. And I have his, he had a whole lot of medals, but he actually gave me 2 of his medals to keep, and this is them here. So this one says, to bear witness to heroism. I am having a mental blank. How do you pronounce that word? And devotion, and that's 1942. And then this one is for the liberation of the Philippines. So they're my special medals now that I will one day pass on to our kiddos. But these photos, obviously, when I was 9 years old, we didn't have digital cameras, so they're not the originals. I have the originals in an album, but I just scanned them in through my scanner and then printed them on my Canon Selfie, and then I just took this photo this morning. So I kind of wanted to do a layout just to commemorate that because it is Anzac Day today, and also because I haven't actually scrapbooked. I think I've only scrapbooked maybe 2 photos pre-digital camera, and it's a project that I do want to start focusing on, so I thought I'd do it over here with you. Now that I've chatted and blabbed on for almost 3 minutes, I'll show you what I've picked out. I did just pick a couple of the papers just to save time and me rifling with my papers over there. I saw this, it was quite lazy actually. This one was first on my paper stack and it was just perfect. It's a blue, it's from an old Scraptastic kit, so you won't be able to get it anymore, but it's kind of like denim-y or fabric. You can tell there's a fabric pattern to it, and it's got a bit of distressed paint and things, and I thought that would just really make the photos pop really nicely as well. And then a couple of pages that I've picked up for matting. I think this one was from a Planner Society kit that I used to get. I've just got an odd wood grain that I might use, and then this one, they're all old papers, so this has some gold foil on it. And before pressing record, I did just mat both my photos with white tissue paper, and I typed out the ode. And the ode is a special, it's taken from a poem by, I want to say an English poet. I don't know their name though, but it's something that we say every Anzac Day. And it says, they shall not grow old as we are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning we will remember them. And everyone says we will remember them. And it's just, I thought it was just really nice to type it out. And alright, I'm going to chat about something because I had a bit of an experience today. And everyone's entitled to their own beliefs and their own you know, faith and thoughts and things, but I had a moment, a very strange moment that I haven't had before, and I didn't know if I was going to tell you guys or not, but I typed this out on my electric typewriter, and I use my electric typewriter, I have been all of the time recently, and I've had no problems with it. What I usually do is what happens is I type in the typewriter and it comes up on the screen, and then I press enter and it types it out. Anyway, this morning I had typed something, no problems, it did exactly what it usually does. But when I typed this out, it had some weird glitches, and it was just a bit of a sign. I don't know, it was a bit funny. But I started typing, and I typed the first line, press enter, and it typed it. So you type it on the keyboard, it comes up on the screen, and then you press enter, and it's not until you press enter that the keys actually start moving. Then I started the second line, and I hadn't bumped anything, I hadn't touched anything. I started typing the second line, and it got halfway through, and then instead of waiting, it just started typing every letter as I went, and it's never done that before. And I thought, okay, must just be, I don't know, it's flicked over or something's happened. And then I went to the next line and it typed every letter, and then it stopped halfway through the word, and then I'd type some on the screen, and then it would just start typing again. And it was just really, really bizarre, guys. And I feel like it was my grandpa giving me a bit of a sign that he's hanging around. So that was my little experience this morning, because I don't think I've never scrapbooked a photo of him before, only because, like I was saying, I haven't scrapbooked any older photos that I need to scan in, except for a couple that I had printed. I think I'd printed them off for might have been a uni project, or it was something that I had them already pre-printed. But yeah, so that's just my little share today from another dimension. I've never been to a psychic or a fortune teller or anything like that, but sometimes there's just some things that happen, and you go, oh, that's interesting, that's nice. It could have been a typewriter glitch. I did type something on it probably about half an hour after typing this, and it was straight back to normal. Who knows? Who knows? So I think I'm going to use my Distress Oxides in the background, because I saw this blue and it's just the perfect blue. I don't know if I'm going to use that one, but definitely those two. And I'm just going to do the good old packaging technique now. I haven't put any gesso or anything on here. Might get some gesso, and just to see how that goes. So I'm thinking of having those there, and then a title here with the ode down below. And I might do some journaling. I'll see how busy it looks. If it's a bit busy, I might do some journaling on a little tag and pop it behind there. But let me know in the comments if you've ever had maybe a strange experience when you're thinking of a loved one or that has passed, or anything like that, because I'd be interested to know. I grab my paintbrush. I've put too much gesso on here, I can tell already. And I'm just going to, oh, I've put way too much gesso on. Whoopsies, that's alright. I've always got my Use It Up journal. I'm really not used to the 12 by 12 size as well, so I'm feeling a little bit rusty. Where is my journal? You know what, I might use this one instead. So I should say also today I did this page as well, so that process video is going up today on Let's Get Inky as well, because the poppies are a sign of Anzac Day, and we wear poppies. My grandpa had a poppy in his buttonhole in that photo, but we wear poppies, and I think it's rosemary as well, as like the herb rosemary as well. Oh, this is drying already, actually. I might be able to get away with not really moving much of that. Yeah, so we wear poppies, and the Anzac Day falls on the 25th of April, and Anzac stands for Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, and the date of it is significant because it's the day that the Aussie and New Zealand soldiers landed in Gallipoli, which I believe is in Turkey. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Turkey, and it's the day that they arrived on the shore of Gallipoli during World War I. So that's a little bit of background history. I'm going to quickly zap this with the heat gun, and then we'll get inking. Alrighty, so now that makes it, I think, just a little bit easier to lay this colour down, and I always start with the light colour. So I haven't really had too much of a play with these yet. They're something that I do want to experiment a bit with. I've seen some fun techniques that you can do, and I want to have a go. I always, if I'm starting with a new product that I'm not too sure of, always start where your photo is going to be, because then if you don't like it or you make a mistake, you can always cover it up. I'm just doing a bit here, a bit there, and it doesn't really matter about that big stripy bit. And then I'm just going to do, so that's Salty Ocean, and then this one is Faded Jeans, and I'm just going to pop some of that. Oh, that's nice. Pop some of that on top. And a lot of people ask what the difference is between the Distress Oxides and the Distress Inks. And I haven't had a huge, like I said, I haven't had a huge play with them, but they are much more opaque. And they kind of have a chalky type finish. I know there's lots of other differences between them. I think that you can make these more permanent, but they're still water soluble, and they look different. They look yeah, not as opaque. They're very painty, I guess you could say. Yeah, painty is a good word for it. And I'm wondering, does the drippy drop technique work? Let's just give it a go. Are they? I think it might. Oh yeah, it does. Do drippy drops, drippy drops, drippy drops. Alright, give that a moment. You can already start to see that reacting. And I know that my photos will cover up a lot of this, but hey, it's the thought that counts, isn't it? Alright, I'm going to pause you, dry that, and I'll be back. Alright, that's all done, and it looks delicious. I really love this corner up here. It's beautiful. I really, actually, I'm kind of tempted to scan that and possibly use it as a printable for next month. Actually, I'm going to go do that now, and then I'll be back. Alright, I scanned it, so you may see something pop up in, maybe I'm thinking a Project Life card, possibly for next month, or the month after, or some point in the future. Alright, that's that. I want to put those there and there, and I just feel like they need just a little bit of matting. Nothing, oh, do you know what might be nice? I think I'm just going to do identical matting on both of them, and nothing too layery, if that's a real word, only because the photos are not the crispest, and because they are scans of blurry film photos. And I think that by adding too many busy paper layers or too many things to look at, the photos will look even blurrier. And so I think if I make them matching, it'll be a lot easier. I usually don't like papers that have hearts that go upside down and right side up. I don't know why, but they drive me a bit batty. Right, there and there. I'm just going to freehand cut them. Is there anyone who doesn't use a trimmer and who is a bit of a risk taker like I am? I of course use my trimmer for when I need to cut cardstock to a specific length, because that would be a little bit impossible. But I just find it so cumbersome to grab the trimmer to cut all of the time. If you're feeling brave, have a go and try freehand cutting. See, I feel like if I did a big mat of that, it'd be too much, but if I just include a really tiny bit, plus I want to use my paper because I don't think I have too much paper. I only have I have a lot of paper. I probably have that many paper pads. Oh, maybe that many paper pads when they're stacked on top of each other. But when it comes to just single sheets of scrapbook paper, I don't know if I said this in an Inky Quill video or a recent Patreon video, but I only have 2 kind of plastic containers, so I probably only have maybe 6 inches, 5 inches worth of stacked pattern paper. But a lot of it is, like, none of it is the last, I'd say, year. Everything's older than that, and so I think that it's time to use it up. I need to get using. So unless it's a paper that I'm head over heels in love with and haven't seen anything like it, or don't have anything else like it in my collection, I'm not. See, the older Dell would have taken out the middle so that I still had a bit of paper to use for later, but the newer Dell is just trying to use her stash. I think this bottom one I might do a little rip on the bottom edge, and I thought it was nice to have just the tiny touch of yellow in this paper because it goes with the yellow in that the fabric that I took the photo of the medals on. Oh, I just said I was going to have a tiny rip, didn't I? That's why I can't talk and cut. I can't talk and journal, now I can't talk and cut. Alright, so that's that. And this one. But it also is nice to have the yellow because I seem to remember a lot that on Anzac Day I would also see people with wattle flowers in their lapels as well. A wattle is an Australian native that has little yellow ball type flowers, and I don't know why, it reminds me of Anzac Day as well, so it's nice to have, you can barely see it, but it's nice to have a pop of yellow too. I'm going to grab a doily. I don't know if I'm actually going to use it, but I might. So I was wondering, I think this looks better on the, oh, I do like that though. What about to the side? So I'm thinking about things too much now. I don't want to cover up that top corner. No, you know what? I very rarely say this, but I'm not doiling today. I do feel like this needs something under here though. But not that. It needs something bright, like a bright white. Oh. I have, I think, the perfect bit of paper, but it's stuck. Could do little hearts. Oh, that's a bit cute. Alright. I'll do that. And this is another old Scraptastic one. Alright, I ripped it down a little bit too far because I want these hearts nice and close to the border. There we go. Right, I'm going to stick that down the bottom here. And then start figuring out a title. What title should I do? I could just call it Remembering. That could be a nice title to do. Whenever I do layers like that, I always put a piece of double-sided tape over the crack, I like to call it, between the two papers, just to really extra secure it down. And a little bit over here. It's quite a warm day today. I feel like my tape is actually a bit, not melty, but it's extremely malleable today. It could just be my imagination, but I feel like the heat does affect my supplies sometimes. So also let me know if you're an Aussie peep in the comments if you have ever been in the Anzac Day March, either in the city or in your own state. So the dawn, they have a dawn service at dawn, funnily enough, and that's the time that the soldiers landed in Gallipoli, at dawn. And so there we go. The parade, of course, the march isn't at dawn, it's later on. I think from memory it may have started at like 8, 9, something like that in the morning, or maybe earlier. Maybe it started at 7:30. I don't know, but I know that we had to be there very early in the morning. So now a title. I'm even wondering if I used it. I had a big wreath, but I must have used it. It might be nice to put the date in there, I'm thinking. Or should I do this one? No, I'll do that one. And my goodness, my street is noisy. It's been very loud today. There's also, oh, but I'm already using that. I could watercolor that red. I know it's not a poppy shape, but that might be nice, the little embellishment. And I know there's one that says remember this on. So this is how I usually store my, if I ever have cut apart tiny word pieces from anything. Sometimes I cut them all up beforehand, but I think that a lot of the time it's easier to wait until you have to cut them up, and it just keeps them all together. And then I keep the rest of I keep this month's printables in a separate pouch, and then previous months in a all together. So when the May ones come out, I'll take all of these out and they can join the rest if there's anything left. Oh, that's too purpley. Alrighty, I'm going to have a little look through my thickers and see if there's any that jump out at me. There is a set that I have that's black with gold, so I'm going to see if I can find those. Alright, I think I have a title, but first I just want to add a little bit of colour to this. Now I have only printed this on like kind of printer cardstock, so it's not gessoed, it's not watercolor paper, so I don't want to add too much liquid, she says, while adding a lot of liquid. I'm just, oh, it's too much colour. I may have stuffed this. I may have not. We will soon see. Oh, my washing machine's finished, if you can hear that. Alright, I'm going to try and dry that and save it, and we'll see if it can work for us. Okay, it kind of came out a little bit spottily. So I'm going to experiment with my coloured pencils and just see if I can add. Oh, okay, this could be working. Just really lightly. It's still spottily, but it's making it a little bit more red toned. We'll see if this works. Could still be, oh, I've got a wet patch there. That's not handy. That leaf's a bit dodgy, so if I can slightly cover that one up with something else. I'm not very good with coloured pencils. I guess because I don't use them very often, but alright, it's passable. It is passable. And then I'm just going to colour the middle a little bit. Alright. It works, I think. It works. Alrighty, so I've decided on the title Together, and then my journaling's just going to be about what we did together. And I feel like I need to glue down my bits before I do my title, just because I'm not exactly sure where they're going. Well, I do know, but just to know, because I think I want my Together to go right there, and I might try and nestle part of it in that flower petal. Right, that's that. I've got this little one down here, but I might write, where did my pen go? Back where it belongs, imagine that. Don't you hate that when you look for something and you don't look in the spot that, oh, I almost did I kind of did a mistake there. It's because I can't talk and write. Oh, bugger. Okay, that's alright. We can just thicken up all of the letters so that we match my dodgy one. But you know when you're looking for something and you don't actually look where it belongs because you know that it won't be there, and then it is there and you feel really silly? Yeah, that happens to me a lot. Alright, it's not my best writing, especially that Z. Why did I feel like doing a fancy Z? Alright, I'm just going to stick that on. Slowly, and there's something blocking my glue too, so I think any moment now the glue is just going to go psst, and I'm going to get a big splodge. Alright, let's get this together. And with foam words, it is often hard to get them to stick and keep their shape. So I try to hold them in the middle somewhere rather than each end, because if you hold each end, that's when you start to space them out and they don't quite look right. I could do it there, or I could do it there. I think overlap it on the flower slightly. Alright, I think I learned from that I can't write and talk, so I'm going to do the journaling, and I am going to stick down my little typewriter strips just because I don't think you need to watch me glue down the little strips. I'm using the glue for that just because I'm too lazy to get my super skinny double-sided sticky tape, and I'm also too lazy to cut my double-sided sticky tape, so glue it is. Alright, I got my journaling on, and I've just gone through and grabbed a few little heart puffy type things. I want another hit of red, and this red is perfect, and I'm just trying to, oh there we go, perfect. Alright, so that's that, and then it needs another, maybe the white one, because I can rarely use the white ones because I often do things on white and so it's nice to be able to use the white one. And then I feel like over here I need a little hit of red as well, maybe this one, and possibly a couple of wood veneer, because wood veneer are nice and neutral, I guess. I feel like it needs something up there. If I do that one over here, and then I think it needs a smaller one. I can't recommend more having little containers close by that you refill and top up when they're getting low, rather than having to go through your stash all of the time. It makes things so much quicker. I love having this little wood veneer container because I do have my massive wood veneer one, but I'm not, if I just want one tiny little star, I'm not going to go and bother to go get the whole container, I guess. It really does, these videos do really show, especially in real time, just what a lazy scrapbooker I am. But you know what I mean, when you're in the mood to create, you don't need things interrupting that, and I think that's the trick with having it, like doing a grab 5 is handy for that reason. I'm thinking too much about this. Just stick it down, Adele. Just stick it down. You're thinking too much. Right, I'm gonna go over here. That's why I really like grab 5s, because it limits your product so that you can actually think creatively and make the most out of what you've got. I think I could probably do with one, no, up here, no. I'm thinking about it. See, this is classic thinking too much about it. Okay. I think I'm going to do a doodly border. I know one day I will look back at these layouts and hate doodly borders, but I love them now, and I think it's part of how I scrapbook now. So I'm going to not think about future Adele's opinions and just think about current Adele's opinions. There we go. I'm thinking of doing a, I did a video for the, was it the mermaid? No, it wasn't the mermaid markers. That's what I want to do. And I want to do gelatos. There was a product that I did over here where we looked up, we looked at how to use it. I can't remember what, I've had a mental blank. But I do want to do a video on the Distress Oxides. So I will film that and upload it in the next month or two, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I also want to do one on, no, maybe I did do it on mermaid markers. I'm not sure. No, it was mermaid markers. Yep. I also want to do one on gelatos and a few other mixed media pieces to give you guys some ideas of how to use them. I think I just want to stamp a word there. It's just feeling a little, not unbalanced, but just like it's missing something. There's one that says, I really love these, are some of my favorites, the October afternoon one. There's one that says remember, I think. It's not that one. I heart this, that will do. It's always, I use I heart this a lot. And grab my ink pad. I have to say a big thank you to Evie, who's one of my Chatterbox level patrons, because she sent me these Distress Oxides and this ink pad, and I'm sure getting a lot of use out of the ink pad, and I really do want to experiment a lot more with the oxides. I've seen a few really fun like removal techniques where you put it down and you can remove some of the designs. Oh, no, it doesn't need to be there. No, I think that's good. Do I need some Heidi Shine? Actually, you know what? I know I'm not sick, don't worry. I'm not Heidi Shining. I think that it's just nice the way it is. Does it need something dark though? I'm gonna navy shine. Ooh, I've just got to find it. Here it is. So I'm going to use some navy because I feel like it needs something else dark. So shake, 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 shake your Heidi Shine, shake your Heidi Shine. Did you hear they're discontinuing Heidi Shine? What? The gold one. I don't know if it's all the colours, but the gold one is going. Heidi Swap confirmed it. Someone did a post over on Scrapaholics, and I am devastated. I'm going to need to buy some because I've only got this one. I don't have any spares, and my local Spotlight hasn't had them. My local scrapbook shop hasn't had them. So I don't know what I'm going to do. This navy is horrible to shake up. It's a pain in the butt. So I'm going to pause the camera and probably shake this for like 5 minutes because it's really thick. All right, I've shaken it, I've shaken it, I've shaken it to my little heart's content. I'm going to put a little bit, it's so tight. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit down here, just a little bit, because oh yeah, that's what it needed. A little bit there, and then a little bit over there. And by using the blue, the navy, it's subtle enough that it's not too in your face, but it just gives a little something to it. But I'm all done. It's the hands. It means the video is almost finished. I really love the way this turned out. It's a layout that I think is going to mean a lot to me, especially with my strange typewriter situation that I had. And thanks for listening to me waffle on. Thanks for listening to me about my strange superstitions, and I'll give you a bit of a close-up look. And if anyone watching has family or friends that are currently serving in the military, thinking of you and your families, and to anyone who has also lost anyone through war, or anyone who serves our countries, thank you very much, and thinking of your families. Alright guys, I'm going to head off. I'm on a bit of a filming spree today, and I'm going to film the wedding flip for this month, not this munch. That's maybe telling me I should stop for lunch first, because I'm thinking of munching lunch. But I'm going to film the wedding flip next, and that should be your next video for the 30th. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. Alright guys, also let me know if you'd like to see some more 12x12 process videos over here every now and then, every few months, using some older photos as well. Let me know about that, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!